Welcome back to the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. This is going to be our official game picks for week three. Actually, week four. It's crazy that we're already in week four. It's going super
Going
fast.
so fast.
It's
So fast,
awesome,
man.
but I just hope that it doesn't continue this way. And then we're like at week 17 already. We're like, what happened to the season? But we're week four. But week three, neither one of us did all that great. It was a difficult week for the both of us. I don't know exactly how many I got wrong and right, but it wasn't that great. But I did catch up a little bit. I was down by 17 points. I've been playing the point game. My actual picks haven't been great. I'm right now I'm 27 and 21, so just over 500. But I did catch up on points. I was down 17 to Lance. Now I'm only down six. 11-point catch up. I like it. I like it. How are you feeling so far?
Andrew, I honestly don't know. The part that I can't get out of my head is we invited people from our fantasy football group, and the guy that is not a football fan nor watches any football games is currently in first place.
hmm
He's like he's like 50 points ahead of me. I I don't know, man. I feel like I'm pretty good at picking games. Like I feel like I do a decent
hmm
job, but then it's like he's got five more wins than me and he's 60 more, 50 points ahead of me. It's just,
hmm
so I got work to do. I have
It's a
got
long
work to do.
season. It's a long season.
But yeah, man, it is so tough picking these games. Because that margin is just so razor thin in the NFL. I mean,
Yep.
just looking at last week, right? What are some good examples? The Ravens game. That one could have gone either way. I mean,
Yeah.
legitimately could have gone either way. The
Yep.
Jaguars
Ravens were
game,
in control for a little bit, and then the Lions made two huge plays that totally swung momentum in their way.
the Cardinals game.
hmm
Um, I I picked the Bears to win. And another thing I do after we did our podcast, because I thought back and forth, I thought, you know what? I'm just not feeling like the Cowboys are going to be a good road team. And I was like, I already
hmm
picked the Cowboys in this. I'm going to honor my pick. So mad I honored the pick. I should have switched. Should have switched because that one, oh,
That one
just
hurt.
disgusts me.
The biggest one that hurt, I think, both of our points confidence was the Packers game. I mean,
Packers.
nobody was going to pick the Browns to win that game, but that's football. That happens.
Yeah. Well, you just never know, man. It changes all the time and
hmm
you just got to do your best to roll with it. So,
That's
yeah.
right. Well, without further ado, shall we get into it?
Yeah, actually, real quick, just wanted to give a quick shout out to the Eagles for winning the CJGJ trade
Oh.
because we got a six back for a seventh.
hmm
Wow, I still can't believe CJJJ is off the Houston Texans. What a weird
He's
trade.
available. Yeah.
I haven't heard it. Like seen a lot of people go back and forth. I don't know if the Eagles gonna pick him up or not.
Oh,
No
because
one's
they traded
ever.
him?
Yeah, I haven't gotten a clear answer on that.
Interesting.
I've heard some people say no, they can't. I heard some people say it doesn't matter. He was released. So
hmm
interesting. I guess is they probably won't re-sign him. Um,
Yeah, you guys are doing pretty well with your safeties. Makuba's really good. So yeah, I don't know if you super need him. Maybe his depth in case there's an injury, if you can sign him.
yeah, I it just makes me wonder why they actually traded him.
hmm
The discussion was always salary. That was the narrative, but it makes me wonder if there's something more. So figured I'd bring that up since we did talk about that in our last podcast.
Yeah,
That
that is
was interesting
interesting.
news to see come out this week.
And
So
I don't know if it has something to do with Texans start out 0-3, and maybe he's really upset in the locker room. Who knows?
man, do
Who
you think that
knows?
they're going to be a dumpster fire team this year? I mean, we're kind of getting close to that territory.
I don't know if I would say dumpster fire, but a playoff team, I have my doubts because they still have a lot of talent, especially on defense. But 0-3 hole, you are almost sunk as far as playoff chances are concerned. I think they were still compete because all three games they were just that close They could be 3-0 if just one play went their way, but it didn't. So they're 0-3. So they're competing. They're not getting trounced every week, but the trenches is so important, and their O line is one of the worst in the NFL, and it shows. Them and the Bengals have one of the worst O lines, and
Yeah, it's true.
you just can't win that way.
Yeah, I'm really surprised. I knew the offense was going to struggle, but 9 points against the Rams, 10 points
Hmm.
against the Jaguars, and only 19 points against the Buccaneers. The Buccaneers defense is not lights out. I mean, the Jets lit them
Yeah.
up.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I just so surprised because if you had told me before the season started that the Colts would be 3-0 and the Texans would be 0-3, I would have been like, no, that's
Yeah. No one would have
that's
guessed
not
that
awesome.
at all. I wouldn't have guessed either team was 3-0, and I wouldn't have guessed either team was 0-3. I'd be like, yeah, they're probably both like 1-2 or 2-1 teams, something like that. I could have figured the Colts got a win or two, but not 3-0 and looking like one of the best teams in the league right now.
Yeah,
They got a tough test this week though, and we'll get into that. They got the Rams.
yeah, they do. Yeah. Well, yeah, man, let's get into the picks. Let's do this.
Okay, okay, and we're gonna go in order of again how ESPN has it laid out with the schedule. So Thursday night football, we have Seahawks at Cardinals. Man, I am just kind of disappointed in the Cardinals because they compete, but they play just good enough to lose a lot of times. If you look at their two wins, they played the Saints and they played the Panthers, and both those games were tight to the wire, and they just eked it out. And then they played the 49ers, and that was tight, and they eked out a loss. They couldn't close that game out. It just, man, I they have a good team. It just something seems to not click. I don't know if it's the quarterback. That'd probably be my guess. It's just he's just not the leader they need, which there are reports of his, leadership, playing video games too much, all that stuff, as we know. That does matter. Is it coaching? Is it the play call? I don't know what it is. My guess would be just the quarterback isn't him because he's got a lot of talent, but this team just doesn't win games. They're that close all the time, but they just don't have that it factor. And that you got to point to leadership, and the leader on the field is the quarterback. And as far as Seahawks are concerned, they've kind of been a surprise-ish team. I mean, they lost week one of the Niners, which they could have won because they were in the red zone. Sam Brown just got that strip sack, which actually his lineman bumped into him, which was kind of funny, and that's how he fumbled. But their defense is legit, man. I don't know if I can pick the Cardinals in a really good competitive game again. I'll pick them to beat the bad teams, but playoff teams, I can't pick them. I got the Seahawks winning this game, and we have to have a conversation about Sam Darnold. He's not looked great, but he's looked pretty decent. He's looked pretty decent. I mean, they're paying him like $33 million, dollars, and that's not bad. That's probably about his worth. And honestly, we had this conversation about Sam Darnold versus Geno Smith. Neither one have looked great, but I think Darnold, as of now, we're 3 weeks in, has looked better. Now, does he have a better play caller, better system, better pass catchers? That can be a conversation. But as of right now, he has his team 2-1. He's looked better. I have this as a confidence level of 7. The Seahawks win in this game.
Interesting. I just did a quick comparison, by the way, of Geno Smith versus Darnold. For sure, the interceptions, that one wasn't going to be a question to me whether or not.
Right.
The interceptions is a no brainer. As far as the
Hmm.
rating, Geno Smith, I think, has the slightly better average. He had a 132.7 this past week, a 102.8 week one. Well, I don't know, but then you got that 37 in between. There, yeah, you got
It's close.
154, 89, 87 for Sam Darnold. So Race is still young, but they are looking similar. Smith, as far as yards, is leading Darnold. He's gotten about 200 more yards, but
Yeah, that's partly because his team's been trailing a lot, and the
that's
team as
true.
a whole does matter. But I think the key thing right now is that turnover mention that you mentioned. That is huge favor of Darnold. There are other things that Geno's doing better because the yards, touchdowns, all that, but his team has been trailing. And the whole defense of the Seahawks is legit. The Raiders, maybe not so much. So that does factor in. But I got to give Darnold some props. I didn't expect him to have the Seahawks 2-1 right now. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I picked the Seahawks in this game, but with a confidence of one. Um,
okay.
and the reason why I did is just it's at Arizona. It's a divisional game.
Hmm.
Anything could happen. So I agree. I think that the Seahawks should win. Um, but sometimes those divisional games just don't quite go the way you think they will.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. But again, I have to see the Cardinals actually clicking before I pick them in a tight game. If they play like
Agreed.
a Panthers, of course, I'm picking them. But if they play a team like the Seahawks or the Niners or even the Rams, I can't do it. I'm going to pick the other team until I see it. No, this is going to be a tight game. It's going to be close. It's probably going to be like a 20-17 type score. You
I
know,
think that's exactly right. Yeah.
so. Next up, game of the week, baby. Going overseas, we have Vikings at Steelers in Dublin. Um, so this one's going to be interesting because the Vikings played Aaron Rodgers last year overseas. I don't know where it was. It might have been London. I'm not sure. But if I look at it, that Jets team and this Steelers Jets team last year with Rodgers and this Steelers team this year with Rodgers is kind of similar, honestly. On offense, offensive lines are decent, but not great. Aaron Rodgers has one good receiver, Garrett Wilson last year. This year, DK Metcalf. They like to run the ball. Last year, Brees Hall. This year, Jalen Warren. It's it's kind of similar. And defenses have players, but they
Hmm.
haven't really shown up all that great.
Hmm.
I think, honestly, to me though, the key to this game is Jordan Addison returning. That is just so huge for the Vikings offense. And Ryan Kelly is probably going to return on their offensive line, which is going to help a lot with protection, sliding, making sure TJ Watt doesn't destroy us. I think this is going to be a physical, just beat you up kind of game, probably on the lower scoring side. But I think the Vikings defense makes enough plays. I think their defense is not like a ton better than the Steelers defense, but they're playing a lot better than the Steelers defense right now. And I think they're going to make Aaron Rodgers feel it. He can't move very much. He can read defenses. There's nothing that's going to super surprise him. So that Brian Flores scheme, he'll kind of figure it out and be able to get the ball out. But once he's pressured, he's dead to rights. And I think the Vikings are going to get that pressure on him because they're getting pressure up the middle now, which they never really have before. They used to just be blitzing on the edge, but up the middle, their D line is getting pressure. Jalen Redmond and Levi Drake Rodriguez. You might not have heard those names much, but they're the backups, the second string line, and they are doing so well. It's just awesome to see. I got the Vikings winning this game, and I have a confidence level of 11
Wow.
because of that defense.
It shows the homerism going on a little bit over there, Andrew.
Honestly, I don't think so. I because if you look at the Steelers, look at their wins. They barely beat a Jets team that
It's
is
true.
0-3, hasn't looked all that great. They lost to the Seahawks because of some dumb plays on kick returns. And then I forgot who they played last week. Oh, they played the Patriots
Patriots.
last week. And the Patriots haven't really shown that they're good enough to truly compete yet. They're fine, but they're just a little short and they barely beat the Patriots. So I need to see more from them before I believe in them. And I believe in that Vikings defense and Brian Flores.
That's fair. I mean, I also got the Vikings in this game. I went with the confidence of two. Um,
Big difference.
here's the thing, man. You're traveling overseas and
Hmm. And the Vikings have done it
things
every year.
they have, and things can go differently. I do think they should win. The reason I want the confidence of two is it really depends to me on which Aaron Rodgers shows up.
Hmm.
I think that's the big X factor. Now that I saw Carson Wentz play, I think he'll do okay.
Yeah.
I think that he could get a C plus B minus game from him. That's the best you should expect. So it really just comes down to me for the defense of the Vikings. Are they getting home? Are they getting the blitzes there? Are they covering
Hmm.
everyone they need to? And I think they will. I think Isaiah Rodgers has really stepped up, and I
Hmm.
don't think it's a fluke game. I don't think he's going to just now suddenly fall back to earth. I think he'll level out. You can't expect that every
For
week,
sure.
but
For sure.
I think he's going to continue to be a good player. So my hope for him is high, but it's on the road. I still think the Vikings are figuring things out. How connected will Jordan Addison and Carson Wentz be? I think there's going to be a learning curve there, but I do think the Vikings will win. So I got a confidence of two.
Yeah. And I mean, the schedule kind of is in the Vikings' favor because this is a road game, but it's in Dublin. And then next week we have the Browns, a road game, but it's in London. Now that game is going to be a little bit more interesting because that Browns defense is insane. But again, slight advantage to the Vikings because they're staying overseas. They're just chilling
Mm.
while the Browns are flying, all that. So little schedule advantage for Minnesota in that. But yeah, Minnesota's done this. They have a good system and they play pretty well overseas. I don't know if they've lost. I don't know that for sure, but I don't know if they've lost overseas. At least in the Kevin O'Connell era, I should say. Because I mean, you can't truly test see a team's ability like 8 years ago. Nobody's gonna be on no, there's not the same players, not the same coaching staff.
Yeah, they're undefeated. Pretty good.
They they've done this a few times. Next up, we'll go to the Sunday day games. We have Commanders at Falcons, the next game on ESPN. Um, I got to give credit to Commanders. They look pretty good without Jaden Daniels. I didn't expect them to score that many points. I mean, I figured they would still win because they're better than the Raiders, but they put up a ton of points. Marcus Mariota looked pretty good, and Jaden Daniels still isn't confirmed that he's going to be back. I probably anticipate he will. But even if he's not, we've seen what the Falcons can do on offense right now. And they fired their wide receivers coach, and it's already chaos in that locker room. And I don't know if Michael Penix is it. He doesn't really wait for things to develop. He just dumps it off real quick, and it's
No.
nothing there usually. And could he be something eventually? Maybe a year or two? He could be, but I don't know if it's this year. Something has to really change as far as his development. Commanders defense isn't like scary, but they have some players. They're going to make some plays. Now the big one of the big things though is Terry McLaurin might miss this game. That could be something, but I think that the Commanders have enough pieces. I don't believe in the Falcons right now. They're just been up and down. Could the Falcons surprise us? It's at Atlanta. Sure. Could Bijan score 2 touchdowns and 150 yards? Sure. But I don't see it. I got the Commanders winning, and I have this as a high confidence level. I have that as a 12.
That's respectable. Yeah, I think that could be good. Um, I I also went high, so I went 14. And for me, it just comes down to I don't believe Michael Penix. The Falcons did put in
Hmm.
Kirk Cousins last week, and I was looking at the draft because I just wanted to look at who else was drafted. Who could they have gotten if they didn't pick Penix? Realistically,
Oh, a lot of players. They could have
I
got
mean,
the D lineman that the Rams have. Which one is that? I forgot
Verse,
him. Yes, they
Verse.
could have got Jared Verse because they needed some pass rush. Just think if the Falcons had Jared Verse.
Well, I mean, like even if you're just thinking about offense, what if they had taken Brock Bowers and just finally admitted that it
The
didn't
Kyle
work?
Pitts thing.
It didn't work. It
Yeah.
didn't work. So why are we continuing to double and triple and quadruple down? I
Hmm.
Brian Thomas, um, even if like they had traded up into this first round again for Ricky Pearsall, like these are
Hmm.
people that would have absolutely made your team better. Yeah,
Yep. They
man,
should have just stuck with Kirk Cousins for a year or two because they paid him a butt ton of money, and then maybe drafted a quarterback later in the round, or even this year. They could have drafted a quarterback this past year. but not picking eighth overall and draft or seventh, whatever they were, and draft a quarterback whenever you just signed Kirk Cousins. I mean, is Kirk Cousins is he the answer? No. But you just paid him a lot of money. You need to build your team around him before you look for a quarterback, unless you truly believe Michael Penix was the guy. He still could be, but as of right now, we have our questions.
Yeah, I just puzzled, man. Puzzled by the move.
Hmm.
Um, but that's where I'm at. I think it's not going to be a close game. I don't trust the Falcons. Um,
Yeah.
and I don't mean to sound bad when I say this, but I've never been a big Raheem Morris fan.
Mm.
Um, he just his ceiling comes off as so low to me. I just don't think he's going to be better than a 9 and
Yeah.
8 or 10 and 7 coach. That's not someone I see taking you
Yeah.
to where you want to be.
He's more of a D coordinator, and I think it's starting to show.
He reminds me, you know who he reminds me of is Wade Phillips.
Mm. Hmm.
Respectable defensive coordinator, does a good job, um, but he's just never going to take that offense to where you want it to be. Just
And
it won't happen.
I've always been questioning why a defense coordinator has a young quarterback. You're not going to develop him very well unless you have a great, I mean, a head coach who's a defensive minded head coach has a young quarterback. Unless your OC is amazing, which theirs isn't. But yeah, defensive head coach drafting a young quarterback and trying to develop him, it never works. Look at Caleb Williams last year with Matt Eberflus. Was never going to work. With Ben Johnson, there's hope. There's hope, but it just if its defense coordinator has a team, he needs to have a veteran quarterback. Like, and I heard this and side tangent, and then we'll get on to our next picks. But the Bengals, they need a defensive head coach. Their defense is awful. They have Joe Burrow, who doesn't need to be developed. He is an
Yeah.
amazing quarterback. If they had a defensive coordinator like a Brian Flores, which I don't want that to happen, I want Minnesota to pay him all the money he needs to never leave. But if the Bengals had like a Brian Flores as their head coach, man, that team could be something because he took a very low talented Minnesota Vikings defense who went from to go from 28th to about 16th in the league in 1 year. Then he started picking up the pieces he wanted. And last year we were like seventh, and now look at how we're looking this year. So, and that's just his development and his scheme. And if he took over that Bengals defense, they don't have a lot of talent. So it's not like it's going to be top 10 right away, but could it be like 18th with Brian Flores? Sure. And if you have that offense and an 18th ranked defense, you can do something.
Isn't it funny, Andrew, that both of our defensive coordinators were considered washed, not good enough in Miami?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I just think that's hilarious.
That is
Well,
quite a coincidence.
I, yeah, I mean, what a boon for both our teams. Love it.
Hmm. Hmm. And I really hope that that legal situation for Brian Flores continues to get pushed down the road and pushed down the road because I truly believe that as long as that is still happening, his suing the league, as long as it's still open, I don't think he's ever going to be a head coach because I don't think any team is going to hire him as a head coach when he's suing the league. I just think they're too prideful for that. Now, once that court case is over, win or lose, doesn't matter. When it's over, then he's probably going to be a head coach somewhere.
At least that's what your Vikings fan side of you's hoping, I'm sure.
Oh no, I'm hoping he never becomes a head coach. I'm hoping he stays D coordinator for the rest of his life, and we pay him even higher than O'Connell. I don't care because that there's no salary on head coaches. Just pay him all he
Yeah,
needs.
that'll go over real well, Andrew. That'll go over just fine, I'm sure. No pride will be involved.
No, no. Anyway, back to our picks. Next game, I don't know if we need to talk about much. It's Saints at Bills. I mean, the Saints are feisty, they fight, but they just got trounced by the Seahawks, and the Bills are one of the best teams offensively, at least. I'm not totally sold on their defense just yet.
I agree. Yeah.
I've seen enough where I'm like a really good offense could make this interesting, and they just haven't faced that other than the Ravens, which that could have been a coin flip either way. But I have this as a confidence level of 16. Josh Allen's gonna just destroy the Saints, and Bills are gonna win this game. I got it as a 16.
I got this one as a 15.
Okay.
So I didn't go 16 because I do worry about the Bills defense. Um, we
Fair.
did see last week against the Dolphins that that was a little bit of a closer race than it should have been, which you called.
Very
Nice
true.
job. But I do think they'll end up winning this game, and then eventually I think they'll pull away. So
Yeah. Yeah. Next game, one we might not need to talk about much, but they did just beat a top five overall team. But we have Browns at Lions. So the Browns got that crazy, crazy good win. Their defense is legit. So I don't expect the Lions to be scoring 40 or 50 points like they did the past couple of weeks. But the Browns offense is still just nothing. It's a nothing burger. The only reason why they scored a touchdown is because that really bad Jordan Love interception. Jared Goff, on the other hand, he doesn't make those mistakes. Is he as talented as Jordan Love? No, but he is smarter and makes better decisions. And you're never going to say, "What are you doing, Jared Goff?" Instead, it's going to be like, "Man, if only he could make that throw like Jordan Love can." That's the difference there. So I don't think Jared Goff is going to throw. He probably won't even throw any interception scam. He'll get sacked a few times. He's not going to be able to escape like Jordan Love can. And I don't expect the Lions' run game to really be able to truly get going against the Browns because that Browns D line with Myles Garrett and then who do they draft? Mason Graham. It looks legit. They Josh Jacobs got like 30 yards rushing. It was good. They stopped him in his tracks. So I do think this is going to be kind of tight. The spread right now, at least on ESPN, is 9.5. I wouldn't be surprised if this was like a touchdown game, like a 20-13 kind of game that the Lions pull out. The Lions will win this, but I think it's going to be kind of ugly, a little bit tighter, where the Lions just have to punt a few times more than you would expect because the Browns defense is good, but the Browns don't have enough on offense to really make this a game. So I have the Lions winning this game, and I have this as a confidence level of 15.
that's fair. I um, I struggle with that Browns offense, and
Yeah.
I really think the Lions are starting to wind into shape.
Hmm.
Like they're rounding into form. They're playing the way they want to play. Don't think they've hit their peak yet. I put this one as my 16. This is the one I'm
Okay.
most confident in. The Browns just trapped the Packers, so I think the trap game element goes away. Um,
Yeah.
if Green Bay had won, I think that trap element would be still like possible.
Hmm.
Um, but I Jared Goff is playing great right now. He's playing
Yeah.
like a great quarterback, and
He is.
I've said this before, and I will absolutely say it again. If the Lions win the Super Bowl once, just once, they've won the Matt Stafford trade, in my opinion. There's still at least 5 seasons that I think you could realistically say you've got left with Goff. And I really don't know what you have left with Stafford. I mean, I watched him in that Sunday game against the Eagles, and he
Hmm.
didn't do a lot for his team. He did just enough, but you could tell it took him like everything that he had to be able to get the points that he got. And the Rams offense was not like wow. Like they weren't wowing everybody. I think more than
Hmm.
anything, the Eagles offense just put the defense in bad spots. So
Hmm.
I really like what I see from the Lions. And David Montgomery had an awesome game on Monday night. They just have such a great two-headed horse for their running game. Um,
They do.
and I know, and I got to throw this out here too, Andrew. I got to give the coordinators props. They were
Absolutely.
given a super tough. I mean, the beginning of this schedule was just brutal. And Dan Campbell was 24-13 at home. I like his odds to be able to continue that streak of just dominating at home. So I got the Lions with a 16.
Okay. Yeah, that's absolutely fair. Next one will be a little bit more interesting on the schedule. We have Panthers at Patriots. Both teams are 1-2. Both teams have shown spurts of okay, there's some talent here. They have some pieces, but it's not really all put together yet. Panthers was that 30-0 shutout of the Falcons, but if you look at their offense didn't do a lot. It was the Panthers defense that played very well and put the Panthers in scoring position. And I think the Panthers defense had at least one pick six. They might have had more. I'm not sure. But I mean, I think Bryce Young had like 180 yards passing, maybe one touchdown, or maybe no touchdowns. I'm not sure, but their offense didn't really do a whole lot, even though they put up 30 points. It was just because the defense just stopped that Falcons team over and over again. And like you made a great call. That offense of the Falcons just didn't look like anything. All they were doing is running the ball, and their pass game looked awful, and you can't win that way, and it showed. On the Patriots side, they've been competing in every game. They probably should have beat the Steelers, but I think Drake May threw a bad interception in the red zone when they were driving down to tie that game, and they just don't have enough to be, hey, this team is something. They're close. Maybe in a year or two they could be, competing for a playoff spot. I don't think it's going to be this year though. But this game is in New England. And I like Drake May more than Bryce Young. So I got the Patriots winning this game, but I don't have a huge confidence level in it. I got it as a five.
I went Patriots and I went with the confidence at three. So I think we're kind of in the same boat of what we think
Yeah.
here. I need to see more from the Panthers. I think they could do this. I think they could round the corner. That win on Sunday, that's a huge win. And we kind of overlooked it, but that was a divisional win.
Mm-hmm.
That might
Mm-hmm.
be the Panthers' best divisional win in a long time. Um, I just, I still feel like the Panthers are they just feel like that team that they could surprise people if they continue to round the shape and get to 9-8. I really could see it. I could see him doing it. I could see him
Mm-hmm.
pushing. It just depends on if the pieces come together. And Bryce Young is still making some mistakes. Like that week one game was a bit of a struggle. Bounced back in week two, and then week three, another decent performance. So, but I think that with the Patriots being at home, the one thing I am concerned about, and I stand by this, the Patriots with Travion Henderson, the Jaguars with Travis Hunter, you cannot pick a player high and then not find a way to use them. That's not acceptable. You have to figure it
Mm-hmm.
out because I mean, it's like fantasy football. You have to nail your top picks, or
Mm-hmm.
else you have to nail your back end picks. But it's one or the other. You cannot have a season where your rookies don't come in and show up and play, or else it's going to really hit or hurt you. And that's why I think the Patriots are kind of struggling right now. And same for the Jaguars. I think the Jaguars would be better if they had figured out a cemented role for Hunter, but they haven't. I mean, the guy's getting like 8 points in most fantasy leagues. That's not good enough. He should be getting way more points under that offense, especially with Brian
Mm-hmm.
Thomas on the right side. Um, so for the Patriots, for example, they need to figure out a way to get things going, and I think they can. So I went ahead and I picked him, but gotta see more. I mean, like here's an
Yeah.
example: Drake May led the Patriots in rushing last week. That can't happen.
Mm-hmm.
That can't happen. And
Yeah.
like the Steelers are not a daunting defense this season. They're still good. They're still okay, but like they're not the Seahawks. They're not the Vikings.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what they do this week.
Yeah, and I will say that with the Trevor Henderson thing, Ramondre Stevenson had two lost fumbles last week, and
This is
Antonio
true.
Gibson had one lost fumble last week. So there's a chance. And after that happened, Henderson got all the touches in like the end of third quarter, all of fourth quarter. He got all of them. So if that's what it takes for them to finally start giving him the ball, then that's what it takes. I don't think he's going to be the starter. I think it's still going to be Stevenson, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's getting close to a 50-50 split and that he slowly starts to overtake it a little bit because I test he is the more talented running back than anyone in that room, but he's not the veteran, and I don't know how he is in pass protection, which is very important.
Hmm.
But holding onto the ball is the most important thing. And Stevenson had two lost fumbles in one game. That's not good. And the Patriots barely lost by seven with three lost fumbles. If that didn't happen, they win the game.
Yeah, yeah, great points, man. Great points.
Yeah, but we do need to see more from Drake May. They don't really have a lot of receivers, but hopefully it gets turned around. But the next game, this is gonna be interesting. I kind of went back and forth on my confidence level in this. I picked the team kind of right away, but then I had to think about it honestly. And you might be surprised, but Chargers at Giants. So the Chargers have looked great. I got to give them props. I wasn't on their bandwagon at the beginning of the year. I wasn't sure why everyone was kind of picking them as like a division winner, as a playoff team, as a maybe even a Super Bowl caliber team. I didn't quite see it, but Justin Herbert has looked like an MVP. We can just be honest about that. He's made some plays. Like there was a play against the Broncos where he was getting rushed. He was almost getting sacked. He kind of turned his hips a little bit, fired a ball kind of sideways into a tight window for a touchdown to Keenan Allen in the corner. It was just a wow moment. I saw that play. I was like, Justin Herbert's legit, man. He is legit. And right now, he's probably one of like 3 or 4 players that could be MVP conversation because Lamar Jackson isn't in it. He's 1 and 2 right now. Josh Allen, of course, maybe even Daniel Jones. I don't know. He's looking pretty good, but Justin Herbert's in that conversation for sure. And Ahmad Hampton looked really good last week because Najee
Mhm.
Harris is hurt. So that the Chargers defense is it's okay. It's not great, but it's making some decent plays. So I
I
think
mean,
overall the
they're
Chargers,
keeping people to under 300 yards a game.
yeah, yeah,
That's pretty
that's
good.
that's true. I would put a slight asterisk to that though. They played Patrick Mahomes without any receivers. They played the Broncos, who their offenses look stagnant against everybody so far. And I forgot who. And they played the Raiders, and the Raiders are just throwing deep shots or turning the ball over. So a slight asterisk to that. They're making the plays. Give them credit, but they haven't played like a legit offense yet, and they're not going to this week either. But the reason why I kind of hesitated on my comments level is because Jackson Dart, we don't know. Maybe by like 4 or 5 weeks down the line, we could say, hey, this is something. But week one, we don't know. He has mobility is one of the key factors that is kind of under the radar. He has mobility. He can escape the pocket and continue to hunt downfield. But it's his first game. It's at New York, which is also helpful, but it's his first game. So I don't anticipate his first game being a lot. So I had the Chargers win this game out the gate. I picked them to win, and then I moved the confidence left and right. I just couldn't feel comfortable until I just thought about it more and said, okay, it's Jackson Dart's first game. He'll look better than Russell Wilson has, other than the Cowboys game. That was a crazy Russell Wilson game.
That was a
He'll look
fluke.
better than, yeah, for sure. He'll look better than Russell Wilson did, but I don't think it's gonna be good enough to really have this game close. And then they're missing Tyrone Tracy Jr., which Cam Scotty was really good, but Devin Singletary is going to be running the ball, and that's not going to be all that great. So I have this as a Chargers win, confidence level of 13.
Mm. I went with 10. I do think they'll win. I am slightly worried about Dart. Um,
Hmm.
I don't think that it'll be easy for them. There's not a lot of film on him. It will
Right.
look different. One thing I was going to say about that I felt like that Russell Wilson drove me nuts. I feel like he vastly underutilized Theo Johnson.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not saying Theo Johnson's an amazing tight end, but I feel like he's a very reliable tight end. He reminds me a lot of Conklin, the former Jets tight end, just very solid, very
Hmm.
reliable. And instead of picking him, Russell Wilson would throw an interception. He would try to force a deep ball. He would just try to
Hmm.
force things that didn't make sense. So one thing I'm going to be watching this week is how well does Dart take advantage of Wandell Robinson,
Hmm.
Theo Johnson, those that are maybe like upper tier players, but they are solid role players. So that's where I think Russell Wilson failed is he would not pivot his eyes to other options fast enough to be able to still keep drives going. He was always
Hmm.
obsessed with trying to get to Malik Neighbors, and that's fine. Malik is great, but you got to continue moving around and seeing what other options are there. So we'll see what happens this week. I do think Dart's going to make things tough for the Chargers, but I think the Chargers will still pull it out.
Yeah, that's fair. I'm not sure what the spread is. The spread is 6.5. Yeah, I could see the Chargers winning by a touchdown, but it being like a competitive touchdown win, something like that.
Yeah, very fair.
Next game on ESPN schedule is your game, Eagles at Bucks. And this has been the one that you kind of circled whenever the schedule came out because the Bucks always seems to have the Eagles number, and it's at Tampa, which is a really hard place for the Eagles to win at. But there's a key thing here. The Buccaneers have a lot of injuries to some key areas. Wide receiver being one. Mike Evans is going to be out. Godwin is possible going to play, but he might not play. They might just have Igbuka. And then like Tyler Johnson or some other like just guys, just the guy. I've heard people call people like that Jags, like not in a bad way, but they're just players. No one that's gonna like you think highly of. It's just the guy. And their O line has had some injuries. The Buccaneers O line and their defense has gotten some injuries. There are some key players out, and the Eagles have a lot of momentum right now. They're playing good. They have confidence. They're making the plays when they need to, when they're down, when it's close. They're thinking, okay, we got this, and they go down, make a play, and they go score and or make a stop, key stop. The Eagles just look like a team that is well run, a well run ship right now. The Buccaneers have looked really good as well. Baker Mayfield, got to give him so many props. When it's go time, when it's tight, he seems like he's always making the right play, either with his legs or forcing the ball to one spot that only his receiver can catch it. He's looked great. He's looked like a top five quarterback, honestly, this year. But I don't think he has enough. I don't think the Buccaneers defense is going to be enough. Eagles are rolling right now. I picked the Eagles to win, and I got this as a confidence level of 10.
I'm picking the Eagles as well with a confidence of 4. A couple of things I think are important to keep in mind for this game is first off, the Eagles didn't have Devontae Smith or AJ Brown in the game last year. So they were down
Mm-hmm.
literally to the third, fourth, and fifth strings as the starters. So which I think made things brutal. I am kind of watching that Lane Johnson injury. I know he's supposed to play this weekend, but
That is big. Yeah.
we'll see. I do think Fred Johnson is good enough to keep the offense on track. Thank goodness Matt Pryor will not be starting if that's the case. We could just go ahead and just never ever start him ever again at a tackle spot the rest of our lives. Um, but as far as for the Buccaneers, you've already mentioned it, the offensive line problems. Nolan Smith did go on the IR surprisingly yesterday for the Eagles because of
And he's not
a
going to be back
tricep
till
strain.
like what, mid-November or something? That's kind of
Yeah,
big. Yeah.
that's a big deal. Now, Zadarius Smith was signed, and he did look great against the
Mhm.
Chiefs. And I didn't notice him as much last week against the Rams, but the hard part is that Vic Fangio is very focused sometimes on certain rotations. And whoever he feels like is having the better game, that's who he sticks with. So that could have been part of the factor for that. Um, but I do think the Eagles pull this out. It's tough, man. I'm waiting for the game where I'm like, it's got to be the opponent that's going to win this because I don't want to sound like a homer
Hmm.
that's going to be like the Eagles go sit team
Oh,
and oh
undefeated. Yeah.
that
Hmm.
doesn't sound possible to me. But they are they're legit. They're playing great,
Hmm.
and a lot of Eagles writers are writing it right now, but they do feel a little bit like Thanos. They are inevitable. So um, people just got to rip out the Infinity Stones out of their hands.
Hmm. I mean, the Eagles still got to play some really good NFC North teams.
It's true.
So their schedule isn't easy. So
No.
eventually they'll have a loss or two, but I don't think it's going to be this week because now if the Buccaneers were healthy, if they
Yeah.
had Mike Evans, if their O line was healthy, I probably would pick them. Just because you can't win every game, it's going to
Yeah.
eventually
No, it's
someone's going to
fair.
beat you, and it's
Hmm.
at Tampa, and Tampa just plays so well against the Eagles. But Tampa has too many injuries right now.
Well, but there's two other factors I throw in there that make this game more difficult. The weather in September in Tampa has always been a problem for the Eagles.
Mm.
Historically,
Hmm.
it's always been a problem under Donovan McNabb, with Nick Foles, with Carson Wentz. Like the weather has always been a hard thing for them. So is that going to be a problem this weekend? Certainly could. The Eagles changed their travel plans because of that. And then the other
Mm.
third part is we are down. our number two and number three cornerbacks this weekend. What's
Yeah.
that going to mean? And I don't know at this point.
Luckily, your number two, number three cornerbacks are going to play guys that they probably haven't ever heard of.
Yes. Yeah, that certainly helps.
Unless Godwin plays. If Godwin plays, but it'll be his first game playing, so I wouldn't anticipate he'd get a full snap share anyway.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think the Eagles should pull it off. Next game, we have two 0-3 teams in the AFC South, Titans and Texans. So the Titans being 0-3 isn't like a shocker. They've competed, they've played well. Cam Ward looks like he will eventually be a good quarterback. He has talent. He's made some plays. He's a rookie, so he's made some bad decisions. But being a rookie. But he's showing that he can do this. He can do this. And then on the Texans side, oh my goodness. I mean, we already said they should be 3-0, or well, not should be. They could be 3-0 if they just made one play here or there. Like the first game against the Rams, fumble in the red zone. They could have scored there. Second game against the Buccaneers, they take the lead. They have Baker Mayfield on 4th and 10. 4th and 10. But he escapes and goes and wins
Yeah.
the game. It's just they're always that close in every single game. Just haven't gotten it done, and they're 0-3. Then against the Jaguars, they tight game and just can't make it happen. But they are a better team. They are at home. I think their defense makes just enough plays to win this game. I think this is going to be a tight game. I think so. The spread on ESPN is 7.5. I think that's crazy, honestly. I don't think this is going to be a double digit win at all. I think that the Texans are probably going to win this game like 13-10 or 16-9. Some small score where it's competitive, it's kind of ugly because Texans have no offensive line, the Titans have a rookie quarterback.
Mm.
Defenses are going to rule this game, but I do have the Texans winning. I don't believe in them right now, but I do have them winning only because it's against the Titans, and I have this as a confidence level of 9 just because it's against the Titans.
I want the comfortable five. I'm not super confident in the Texans right now. I did pick them.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, I don't really know what more to say on this game. The Texans, man, just leave me scratching my head. But
I agree.
uh, absolutely, the GM deserves an F for the offseason. You
Hmm.
cannot construct that offensive line and truly think that you're going to be competitive. There's no
One of their
way.
big free agent signings, Cam Robinson from the Vikings, is already
Yeah,
benched. He's already
yeah.
benched. Come on.
I don't know, man. It's don't understand it.
Hmm. Me neither. I mean, CJ Stroud can be a good quarterback if he's just given a little bit of time. He showed that his year one, but man, they just don't have any offensive line to give him time. And that really
Yeah,
hurts my fantasy team because I have Nico Collins. Come on. He had
it's
a
all
good game
about
last
you,
week,
isn't it,
though.
Andrew?
He had
Yeah.
a good game last week, and, I still took an L. But speaking of fantasy, keep an eye on Woody Marks for the Texans because he's starting to
Mm,
outsnap Nick Chubb. So he's not available in our league because our league, everyone's taken. But in normal leagues, Woody Marks, keep an eye on him. Next game is this is gonna be a fun game. Colts at Rams.
hmm.
Who would have thought that this is going to be one of the best games on the schedule? Because
Yeah.
going to the season, you're like Colts at Rams, yeah, Rams at home, they'll be
Hmm.
fine. I don't know. This is going to be an interesting game. So we just got to say Daniel Jones. No one saw this coming, but he's looked great. He's had no turnovers. He has 3 touchdown passes and 3 rushing touchdowns. And I think I was hearing a stat that that's the first time that's ever happened. First 3 games, you're 3-0. You have 3 rushing, 3 passing, and no turnovers. First quarterback ever to do that, ever. Got to give Daniel Jones props. Jonathan Taylor's looking like the best running back in the league right now. He's looking phenomenal. Their O line's moving people. Their defense isn't like destroying teams, but it's making enough plays to get their offense the ball back. They're getting turnovers, stopping people in the red zone. They're doing what they need to do. And I think the Colts have punted 1 time in 3 games. That's just it's wild what they're doing over there. Got to give them so much credit. And the Rams, they have a ton of talent on defense. They have a lot of offensive weapons. Their offensive line is fine. It's not great, but it's fine. It's manageable. But man, that Matthew Stafford, his back, it has been concerning me all year long. And that right there is the reason why I'm picking the Colts to win this game. I don't know if the Colts are going to get enough pass rush to truly
Mhm.
show his mobility, but I don't know. I don't like that back of Matthew Stafford, and it showed against the Eagles where he made a few plays, but it wasn't like he was that guy like he used to be. Now he reads defenses well. He makes good decisions, but physically he's a little limited right now. I don't have this as a high confidence. This is my confidence level of 3 because this is going to be a tight game. But I just like what the Colts are doing. This could be an upset pick. I think the Rams are favored. They're at home. They are probably the better overall team. But the Colts have something brewing over there, man. I'm going with the Colts.
I just I feel like yeah, I'm still going back and forth on this one. So this is the one game this week where I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm not sure. So I
That's
might pick
fair.
it. I might change it by Sunday. But I went to the Rams. They're at home. They're gonna
Hmm.
be they're gonna be pissed, man. They just they they
Honestly, they should have won that game.
they let the Eagles off the hook.
Hmm.
But if you want to crown them, go ahead, Andrew. Crown them. But yeah, I don't know. I
They are
just
who we thought they were.
exactly. I that that Rams defensive line is so good.
It
And
is.
I don't like the way they match up against the Colts. Um, oh, who was that cornerback that the Colts picked up from the Dolphins? Um,
Not sure.
Xavier Howard.
Mm,
And
mm, mm,
he's had a good little resurgence. Like he's
hmm.
done well this year. So I give the Colts props. Um, it's just weird because you look at that team and it's like I didn't expect Tyler Warren to be this good this early. 193 yards over 3 games as a tight end.
Hmm.
He's doing great. Pittman's still doing Pittman things. Pierce is honestly looking like a decent number two.
Yep.
Um, so I just didn't expect it, man. I did not expect it to look this good this early. But is it going to continue? I feel like the
Yeah.
Rams are going to bounce back here. That's what I continue to think is like, you're seriously going to pick the Rams to lose 2 in a row, and that's my struggle. I The Colts going on the road in Los Angeles, already 3-0. We'll see. If they are 4-0 though, they might be the surprise contenders in the AFC. Like not just like get to the playoffs, they might be the team that's like, wow,
Yeah.
that they could move and shake. Um, so we'll see, man. But it's crazy. I mean, I give him total props for what they've done over 3 weeks. Shane Steichen's a great coach. I've always thought he
He
was a
is.
great coach since being in
He
Philly.
is.
Um, I was honestly hoping he would have a terrible season, get canned, and then
And come
eventually when
back.
Patullo would leave, we'd take him back and we'd have him sign
Hmm.
the contract that he can never leave. He has to stay with Jalen Hurts the rest of his career. That would never happen. But um, I'm going to keep the Rams for now. I got him by 6, or with 6 on my 6 or my scale of 6.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. They are the better team, but yeah, Colts has something brewing. I don't know. Next game, I don't know if we're going to agree on this one. This is going to be interesting, but it's Jags at 49ers. Jags have kind of been a semi surprise a little bit, but mainly because their defense. Their defense has
Yes.
played really well. Their offense has been clunky. Trevor Lawrence isn't in rhythm with Travis Hunter or with even Brian Thomas Jr. Like he hasn't really done a whole lot this year, and it's because Lawrence just isn't in rhythm with them. Thomas Jr. has dropped some passes, so that's on him. But their offense just look kind of clunky. ETNs look good though. Their run games look good, but their pass game's been kind of meh. The 49ers lost Nick Bosa. That's kind of big for them. They just have so many injuries, man. Kittle's still out. Pearsall's been banged up a little bit. He's still playing, but he's been a little banged up. Juwan Jennings has been a little banged up. McCaffrey's been a surprise. He's the only one that's kind of fully healthy right now. Mac Jones has had to play. Brock Purdy's probably going to come back this game, and it's at San Francisco. but I got to pick the Jaguars. I got to do it. This is my upset
Hmm.
pick of the week right here. I
It's
don't
not the
know.
Colts. That's not your upset pick
That
of the
one,
week.
no, because that one the Colts are 3-0 and the Rams are 2-1. So I know it's at the Rams. Rams are favored, but I think this is probably a bigger surprise than me picking the Colts to win. Um, because the Jaguars haven't looked all that great, but and the 49ers are somehow everyone's like Super Bowl team right now. I'm thinking how they're barely won 3 games and they're so injured. But anyway, the 3-0, give them credit. They've won when they needed to win. But I got the Jags winning, but only at a confidence level of 4. This could go either way, but I always got to pick an upset, and this is my upset.
Your second upset, Andrew. It has to be your second
That's
upset.
that's that's fair. I don't see how a 3-0 team beating a 2-1 team is an upset, but the Rams are favored. But this is 100% an upset. So
Yes. Yeah. Couple of thoughts on this game for me before I say who I'm going to pick. For fantasy wise, Brenton Strange, the tight end, kind of crazy, but he's leading the team in receiving yards.
he is, he is. And do you know who picked him up in our league last night?
Was it you? Oh, dude, you suck. I totally wanted to pick him up, and I've been so busy with this flipping conference that I didn't get to it.
Yeah, I
Um,
made a trade like yesterday, 2 players for one, so I had an empty bench spot, and I was looking around. I was like, it was between 2 guys. He was one of them, and I picked him up.
yeah, but ETNs look good. The concern about the Jaguars for me is Lawrence again, man. The turnovers.
He is,
Gotta
yeah.
gotta stop turning that ball over. Um,
Hmm.
but dude, 76 yards for Travis Hunter in 3 games. That is not enough. That is not
Yeah.
enough. And if I'm the coach and I didn't want to trade for Travis Hunter, I am mad at the GM. You
Hmm.
could have gotten me McMillan. McMillan's
Yeah,
doing better
yeah.
right now. And
And they wouldn't have given up so many draft picks. They would have kept stayed at 5, either got McMillan or gotten Mason Graham. Or there was a lot of guys they could have got and kept their draft picks.
I just you have to be super confident when you make a trade like that. If you're going to trade
Hmm.
a draft pick for next year and a second round pick and other picks, you better be for sure that that person is going to be
Hmm.
exactly what you thought. And 2, 3 games, this is horrible, man. Like I, I'm not denying that Travis Hunter's a great player. He's got potential, but
And it
this is
could be
a
the
dreadful
quarterback.
start.
It could be
But this is the
it could
part
be the
that's
quarterback
amazing me.
that's not getting the ball to him.
But defenses know they know they have to watch out for Thomas. You've got Parker Washington there. You got De'Ami Brown. Like, there's no reason that you shouldn't be able to find a way to carve through
Hmm.
the defense. Zero. I haven't been able to watch the games as close, but like, why is Brenton Strange getting more yards than you? I mean, he has almost twice as many yards as Travis Hunter. Something's got to get
Hmm.
fixed. Um, but for now, I am also going to pick the Jaguars. It is
Neither one of us
not
believe in the
because,
Niners. Neither one of us believe in the Niners. I kind of
dude,
thought you'd go Jags as well.
they're going to fall apart, man. It's going to happen. I don't know when. I don't know.
Hmm.
You know who the 49ers feel like to me right now? The 2023 Eagles. It's exactly who they feel
Hmm.
like to me. These don't feel like real wins. They feel like fraudulent wins. Maybe it feel different once Brock Purdy comes back, but these do not feel for real. The
Hmm.
injuries that are happening to the 49ers, Kittle is still out.
Hmm.
Ayuk is not back. We'll see, man. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I should be giving the 49ers more credit, but can't pick them. Don't trust them.
That's fair.
So maybe they keep
That's
riding the
fair.
McCaffrey train because that's what they've been doing the past couple of weeks is riding the McCaffrey train.
And I mean, they've been winning. You got to give them credit. They've been winning, but like you said, they do look like a fraudulent 3-0 right now.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know. Next game. This is an interesting game. This one, I paused. I had come back to it. I didn't pick the team right away, and I had to think about it. And I'm still not fully convinced. I'm not going to change my picks, but I'm this is when I'm like it was a coin flip. I was like I am not sure. This is Ravens at Chiefs. Both teams have a ton of talent, but they haven't really looked like they're playing all that well. The Ravens that close lost the Bills. That happens. The Bills just had a tremendous play here or there that barely won the game. Ravens should have won, but that Lions game concerned me. Their defense does not look all that great. They got
Mm.
gashed over and over in the run game, and this is with the Lions' interior O line who is young, not proven yet. They could be really talented. They could be great, but they're young. You need to do stuff that confuses them. Now, the Ravens have been out with their D tackle Inabuke, and he's great. He is great. They've been missing him for the past few games, and he's probably going to miss this game too. That is very important for the D line. Man, their defense has been concerning. And Lamar Jackson, he's played well, but not like an MVP Lamar Jackson, honestly. He's been just kind of okay, just fine, but he hasn't been blowing me away this year. He's not turning the ball over, which he hardly ever does. So give him props to that. But their offense isn't really clicking. It's Derrick Henry or bust right now. And so and for the Chiefs, Xavier Worthy should be back this game. I think that's going to be a huge boost for them. It's at Kansas City. I will always take Patrick Mahomes over Lamar Jackson, even though Lamar Jackson is harder to defend in a way. I will still always take Patrick Mahomes over Lamar Jackson. So I am going with the Chiefs in this game. I think the Ravens are the better overall team, but I'm going with coaching. I'm going with the home team. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. I have the Chiefs winning, and this is my confidence level of one.
Hmm. Man, Andrew, listening to you talk made me feel a little differently as I was thinking about this. Just giving myself a pause.
Yeah, that's fine. And I'll also say that the Ravens' strength is their run game, and the Chiefs' strength is their run defense. So this is
Yes.
good on good. This is good on good. Is Derrick Henry going to be balled up all game? I'm not saying that, but this is going to be fun. It's good on good. It's physical on physical. Now, I don't anticipate Derrick Henry to fumble again, like he's done his first 3 games, and they've been bad fumbles. Two of those fumbles caused them to lose. We're just going to say it. It was momentum swingers. They were early enough where it wasn't like he fumbled and then the team won the game. The next drive, ended the game. It wasn't that, but they were momentum swinging fumbles to where the Ravens either had a big lead against the Bills or they were driving to continue to go back and forth with the Lions. And then he has a bad fumble and the other team just takes control of the rest of the game. And that's what happened with the Lions on Monday night is they punched the ball out of Derrick Henry and then they never looked back. They took control of that game, which give credit to the Lions. They made the plays they needed to. That was a great punch out by Hutchinson. But if Derrick Henry doesn't fumble that ball, it's a coin flip. Anybody's game. That was back and forth. But he fumbled, and then the Ravens were never the same team. So I don't anticipate Derrick Henry to fumble the ball again like that. Like every game, he's going to be better protecting the ball. But if he's in his head, making sure to hold that ball tight, he's not going to run as well because
Yeah.
he's going to be focused on that other than finding the hole or breaking a tackle. So I don't know. And the Chiefs haven't looked great either. I mean, Patrick Mahomes has done everything he can to win games. They beat the Giants, but they didn't look
It didn't
phenomenal
look
beating the
great.
Giants.
No.
Their defense shut down Russell Wilson, and that's not a positive thing. You should shut down Russell Wilson. And their offense just hasn't been clicking. But the return of Xavier Worthy probably is more underrated than a lot of people are thinking because their other receivers just haven't been doing a whole lot. And Worthy is just so fast, so
Is Xavier
dynamic.
Worthy coming back this week? I haven't seen it confirmed he's coming
I
back.
think he's practicing. Like he's practicing now, and I think signs are aiming toward that he's going to be back. And I'm just going to predict that he is because they need him. Now, if he does miss, that's tough. The Ravens are have the advantage, but I'm thinking he's going to be back. And so I'm picking the Chiefs, but again, it's a one confidence level. This is my coin flip game because both these teams desperately need a win.
I'm just going to honor my pick. I'm picking the Ravens. I went 7, and the only reason I went 7 is
Okay. This is the Lamar Jackson hater picking him as a 7 right now.
I know the Chiefs just they don't look like what they used to be. I,
No, neither do the Ravens, honestly. Both these teams have been disappointing this year.
this is where I come down to. If the Ravens offense gets going, and we'll have to see with the run game what happens. I just don't see the Chiefs being able to keep up. This offense of the Chiefs is just
Hmm.
not good enough. So I'll honor the pick. I went back and forth as we talked about it, but I will pick the Ravens. I only picked this game higher because I feel even less confident about the games in front of this or behind them.
Hmm.
But yeah, uh, that you got me worried now, Andrew. Now I feel like I'm an idiot for what I picked, and now you're going to be ahead of me next week. But that's fine. It's okay. I will recover.
Well, hey, I mean, we've been a little bit different on our confidence ratings on some of the same games we picked. So, I mean, anything can happen. I can fall
Yes.
into a deeper hole, or I can come back still. So we'll see. Um, we have a few games left, and there's one game that I don't even want to talk about because I'm just going to kind of glance over it. It's not this one. Next game is Bears at Raiders. This is an interesting game. This is an interesting game. Two teams that have shown spurts of, hey, that's something, but also like, what are we doing here kind of things.
Yeah.
The Bears are getting so much love for the win last week, but man, looking back at it, I think it's a little too much hype because Caleb Williams is good, but it was against one of the worst defenses in the league right now. I mean, when you have Russell Wilson throw 400 yards against your defense, that's saying something, Cowboys. That's saying something. And Caleb Williams threw 4 touchdowns. That's awesome. That's really good. He didn't take a sack. That's awesome. But look at the context. It was against the Cowboys team, Cowboys defense that's done nothing all year. Really done nothing. And the Bears defense is fine. They let Dak Prescott move the ball without CeeDee Lamb all game long, but they made the plays when they needed to. Give props to the Bears defense there. They picked off Dak Prescott in the red zone twice. Without those 2 picks in the red zone, the Cowboys probably pulled that off because it was only like a 17-point win for the Bears. And
Hmm.
that's with 2 picks in the red zone, and that's 14 points. That's this big swing. So it was tighter than the final score actually said, but the Bears made the plays when they needed to. Props to the Bears. And on the Raiders, their defense hasn't quite been there. Their
Hmm.
offense has been moving the ball, but only in garbage time. And can we get Ashton Genty going? Please. I don't have him on any fantasy team. I didn't draft high enough, so this isn't a fantasy thing for me. You have him on your team. But just as a football lover, can we please get Ashton Dinty going? He is good, but they're not really giving him the right touches, and he's not playing on third down. I don't know if his pass blocking is not that great. I don't know. But you draft someone that high, like you've been saying about Travis Hunter. You draft someone that high, you need to get him going. And the Raiders' offensive line isn't bad. Is it a top offensive line? No, but it's not bad. Can we please get him going? I went back and forth on this one as well. It's at the Raiders, and I'm not a full believer in Caleb Williams just yet. I see improvement. I definitely do. He's getting better. Ben Johnson is working the Ben Johnson, mojo with him. I can appreciate that. I can definitely see that. But I'm gonna pick the Raiders. I don't know. I'm picking the Raiders. I'm picking Gino. I'm picking Pete Carroll. Picking them at home. Not a high confidence though. I've got a confidence level of 6.
I went with the Bears, and I pick a confidence level of 9. And
Oh,
for
big.
me,
That's a
I
big.
just
This could be the swing right here. Whoever gets
yeah,
this right is going to win this week.
I I think the Bears are, you know, they looked respectable in week 1 against the Vikings. That's not a bad loss.
Yeah.
And even the Lions game could have been a lot worse. They still fought. Um, and then you beat the Cowboys last week. I think the Bears are going to win this one. I just something's off with the Raiders right now. I'm not saying they're going to stay this way forever. I just feel like they're in a slump. They're in a slump and they got to figure out a way to
Hmm.
get going. And is that against the Bears? Maybe. It's just going to be really hard because if that offensive game is working for the Bears, I'm struggling to see how the Raiders are going to keep up. I got to see more. I think Ashton Genty
Totally
has the
fair.
potential to still be good, but got to see more. For now, I've definitely got to go with the Bears.
If this was at Chicago, I'd pick the Bears as well. This was one of those like back and forth games. And honestly, my confidence level of 6, I feel like is too high. But like you said with last game we just talked about, there are games behind that game that I can't put above them because those games like, ugh, I don't like this game. And we're gonna get to one of them. Not the next game that we're about to talk about. This one's an easy choice. This is Packers at Cowboys Sunday Night Football. If the Packers were undefeated and the Cowboys won that Bears game, this could be kind of interesting in a little bit of a low key way because it's
Yeah.
at Dallas and they need to win. But with the Packers losing, I think that's the biggest thing. They lost, they got embarrassed. They are going to come back in this game and they are going to be pissed. They are going to be just angry. And Micah Parsons' revenge tour is just going to be in full throttle. The one thing I will say, Micah Parsons gets so much credit. He is making the overall defense better. But if you look at his specific numbers, they're not that great. He has 1.5 sacks. The key is, though, he's making Rashawn Gary look good. Rashawn Gary's leading the league in sacks right now. He has 4.5 because of the Michael Parsons effect. So he is affecting the team, but him himself isn't doing a lot, at least as an individual, and he's starting to ramp up playing time. But I do think he's going to get at least one sack against Dak. That's the narrative. It's the script. I mean, if people think that the NFL is rigged, that's the script. He's going to get a sack against Dak Prescott. It's like guaranteed almost. Um, but the Packers are so much better team than the Cowboys. I have the Packers winning this game. Was this my 14? Yes, this is my confidence level of 14. Only reason why it's not 15 or 16 is because the Lions are playing the Browns and the Bills are playing the Saints. But I have the Packers winning, confidence of 14.
Same. I got the Packers too. And it's tough, man. I understand what you're saying about the stat sheet with Micah Parsons, but it goes beyond that.
Oh, for sure. He's affecting the rest of the
And
team, but
yeah,
everyone's just he's not going to be a defensive player of the year candidate, in my opinion.
that's fair. Yeah.
Now, the overall defense is elite. I'll give Packers credit. I did not anticipate this. I've said that a few times. Their defense is top five easy. They could even be higher than that. They could be like top three. They are good. And Michael Parsons definitely has an effect. But him as an individual and on stats, it hasn't been there. But because teams have been double, triple teaming like they should, and he's causing havoc. But yeah, I agree.
Yeah. I mean, but I got a confidence level of 12. I think the Packers are going to win this one fairly. And CD Lamb's out.
Mm. That too. That too. That's
You
huge.
got to throw that out there. That's
Hmm.
yeah. So yeah, definitely going with the Packers. And it's a home game.
Totally fair. All right, two Monday night football games left. And this first game is the game that I honestly picked this as my confidence level of one initially because I don't care about this game. I don't even want to pick this game. Jets at Dolphins. It's the who cares bowl. It's the both these teams are toward the bottom of the league teams. Now, I will say the Jets almost pulled out a win against the Bucks, but I think that was kind of a fraudulent comeback. I think the Bucks just took their foot off the pedal, which the Bucks shouldn't have done that. Give credit to the Jets for catching back up and
Hmm.
blocking that field goal and returning it for a touchdown and take the lead. But the Bucks were like, "All right, let's just go march on the field and win," and that's what they did. So, I mean, the Jets played a couple of close games against the Steelers and the Bucks, so give a little credit there, but I still don't believe in them at all. And we've already talked about the Dolphins, and like we've talked about the past 3 weeks, they are a dumpster fire. They are a head coach being fired very soon within the next like 5 6 weeks, probably going to happen. And they are a team that might be busy at the trade deadline, trading Tyreek Hill, trading other players like Jalen Phillips, their edge rusher who's in the last year of his rookie contract. They're going to be a team that's going to be selling. I can almost guarantee it. So I didn't even want to pick this game, but because the Dolphins played the Bills so close and it's at Miami and the Jets are just as bad as the Dolphins, I would say the Dolphins have a little bit better talent overall. Maybe that's a maybe. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins to win, but this is my confidence of two. I had it as a one initially, but then the Chiefs Ravens game, I was like, yeah, I'm gonna put that as a one. So this is my confidence level of two. It's because I don't care. I don't really care about this game, and it's on Monday Night Football. I don't want to watch this game.
Yeah, this is not a good matchup. ESPN has to be devastated. This is how bad both teams are. I mean, it's
Mhm.
just such a loss. I went Dolphins. It's gonna sound crazy. I went with the confidence of 11. Um,
Wow. Okay.
and the only reason why is because the players are behind McDaniel. It's crazy. I don't understand it,
Yeah.
but you can't tell me watching that game last week that the players were not fighting their hardest for their coach. Um, I just I don't know, man. And is Justin Fields playing this week? I haven't heard if he's
I
playing.
think he's on. I think he's on track. It's not official yet, but I think he's doing enough where it's a possibility. But is he a big
Yeah,
upgrade over Tyra Taylor?
I don't
Maybe
know. I think he's an upgrade over Tyrod Taylor. Um,
a
I'll
little
stick with
bit,
the
but I don't think it's a
Dolphins.
big gap. Yeah, yeah, and I mean, if both teams played a little bit tighter, they both had a win, I would have taken this game more seriously. But I was like, no. Initially,
No,
I just picked. I picked confidence level of one initially, and it skipped the team who was going to win, and went with the rest of the teams and looked at it. I was like, I guess I got to pick this game.
yeah, no, it's fair.
And then the next game, the last game of the week, this could have been a lot more interesting, but there's no Joe Burrow. It's Bengals at Broncos, and man, the Broncos are a anti-fraudulent 1-2, if that could be said, because they very easily could be 3-0. Last second field goals and like last quarter drives
Hmm.
have beaten the Broncos twice,
Yep.
where they were in control. But Bo Nix just isn't a closer. Maybe he'll learn that one day, maybe. But right now he just doesn't close games. He just doesn't do enough to win the game for your team when you have a
Yeah.
lead.
Yeah, it's true.
And he's young. And he's young. This is his second year, so he might develop that, but he just isn't there yet. And the Broncos defense, I've been a little disappointed in. They've been good, but they've let teams score in the fourth quarter to win games. The defense has been on the field to end the game, and they haven't. They haven't made enough plays. The other team has marched down the field to kick a field goal to win. So I've been a little disappointed in their defense. They have a lot of good players, but they've been a little disappointing. This is at Denver, and it's still Jake Browning. Now, I don't anticipate Jake Browning to have all those turnovers like he did against the Vikings. He'll play better, even though the Broncos defense is just as talented, maybe even more talented than the Vikings defense as far as just player for player. So he'll have better games. Jamar Chase will get going. The Broncos' run defense has been a little suspect. So Chase Brown for fantasy owners, he might start doing a little something this game. But I got the Broncos winning. I'm not high confidence because I am a little concerned about Bo Nix and the Broncos' closing ability. That's been they've been bad at that. But I do have the Broncos winning, confidence level of 8.
I went Broncos confidence level 13. It's because of Browning. That's the only reason why I have it that high. I'm not a
Mm-hmm.
believer in Browning. Never have been. And after what happened last week, I'm off 100% off the Browning train at all. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the Bengals were thinking. They knew they had to make a trade if they wanted to save the season, and they're not going to. And that's maddening. I just, what are you going for? I really don't get the direction of this team because
Mm-hmm.
they act somewhat like a win now, but then they make some moves. You're like, doesn't make any sense. I don't understand it. So we'll see what happens. I know they're in a tough spot with their cap because of what they've done, but they dug their own hole. They waited till the last
Yeah.
minute with Chase. They waited to the last minute with Higgins. They waited and literally held out as long as they could with Trey Hendrickson. It's just
Mm-hmm.
poor management, and the poor management has gotten them exactly where they are right
Speaking of Trey Hendrickson, if the Bengals continue to struggle, which is a possibility, I don't know their schedule offhand, but let's say they're a 500 team or worse at the trade deadline, and Joe Burrow's not going to be back all year, which is a possibility. They could very well ship Trey Hendrickson to a contender
now. I think that's a very fair point. I could see it.
because he's
Question
only
now is
1 year
going to be
deal.
is the question now is going to be the salary though. The salary was way attractive earlier before the extension or the extension, but the
Hmm.
um, renegotiated deal. But
Hmm.
I agree with you. It could totally happen. So we'll see, man.
Or
It's
the Bengals could trade for Kirk Cousins, but he's making a ton of money, so they have to send a high draft pick for the Falcons to eat that salary. And I don't know if the Bengals want to do that because they're cheap.
yeah, probably not. Don't see it happening. I think the Trey Hendrickson trade
Mm,
though is more likely at this point. The Bengals
that's
are
fair.
they're 2-1 right now. They will have a losing record here
Yeah,
soon if they keep playing this way.
yeah, they're 2-1. Give them credit. They beat the Jaguars when they shouldn't have. I forgot who their first game was. Oh, it was the Browns, and honestly, they should have lost that game too because
Yeah,
the Browns kicker missed 2 field goals,
yeah,
and I think the Bengals won by 1 field goal. So I mean, they could be 0-3 right now, honestly, but
yeah,
they are 2-1. They won the games. That's all that counts. But I don't think they'll win this week.
yeah.
Well, that's the picks this week. We'll see how we do. I caught up by 11. I could easily go down by 20 this week because we have like two wide swing games
Too wide. Yeah.
that either I'm going to take a big lead or you're going to continue your lead and extend it. Those are the only two options this week. It's going to be
There's only one
very
option.
interesting.
It's I have to extend Andrew. So got to get the Rams game right. Got to get the Ravens game right. Got to get the Bears game right. So really need those games to go my way.
hmm
So
And then
if those teams are
for
listening,
me, it's basically one game. I think for me it's that Rams Colts game because if they don't win that, then I I'm kind of out on my upset picks of the week. Even though I like picking those because we both picked the Jaguars. We don't really believe in the Niners, but I
no,
mainly picked the Colts
yeah,
because I don't know. I kind of like them. Kind of like
they're
them.
fun,
I
man.
don't know.
They're fun, and they could definitely
Hmm
win. So we'll see what happens. Sunday will be fun to follow. So
It
start
will
all
be.
starts tonight.
Does. It does. Hopefully Marvin Harrison Jr. can catch some passes instead of drop touchdown passes.
Yeah, yeah, we'll see. I don't know, man. So but this was fun. I'm looking forward to it. It'll be fun to break
Yeah,
down next week what happened.
absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us this week in the Gridiron Grind with Andrew and Lance. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.
Thanks, everybody.